Yeah, we might as well just get into the reaction. Here we go. So, the secret to making your dreams inevitable.
All right, that's good, Kanye. This is so exciting, isn't it?
Same punch.
How you say?
Kanye.
Kanye?
That album's gonna be the best. The best.
That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves.
Before Kanye West was Kanye West, he was Kanye West. Now, I know that doesn't make sense yet, but just sit with me for a second. Because what if I told you the secret to making your dreams inevitable wasn't some 5-step framework or just being disciplined? You've already heard all of that, watched hundreds of videos, and honestly, nothing really changed, right? What if the real secret was changing the way you think about your dreams from the start? Most people think of their dreams as transactional. I'll do X for a few years, then it'll happen. I mean, it sounds logical, but it's the exact reason why most people never get anywhere. If you want to stop feeling stuck, you have to reshape your perspective. Once you do, your dreams stop feeling like something that might happen. They start to feel inevitable.
Yeah. I don't really have much comment on this one just because, this is something that I'm still like actively learning on what to do and how to do. The bringing yourself to the level of delusion to the point where you're so delusional. Like, I think I'm at it to a certain extent, but obviously I still have doubts. It's just like a normal human trait that usually it just happens, and it's something you can't run away from. But like examples like this, like with Kanye and, certain other people that have this crazed mindset to where they're delusional enough to believe in themselves and for it to actually come true, and failure is going to be a process of this, and it's going to be expected, but it's about, not worrying about that failure and still thinking that you can do it either way. So like say with this, like, hey, I want to become a streamer. I want to become a streamer so bad every single day, no views, views are low, nothing's working out. That's not going to stop you. You're going to keep going and keep thinking that you're going to be a big streamer or whatever like that. And, I believe that to an extent. I believe it will be more of my message rather than me as a streamer. That's ultimately what I want. I want the message to be face front rather than my face and the character behind it. But yeah, shout out Kanye, man. Let's see what he said.
Happen, they start to feel inevitable. I think the reason most people never achieve their dreams is because they feel like there's something missing inside of them. They think they lack motivation or discipline or some internal switch that just never flipped. I get it. That feeling, that constant pressure in the back of your mind telling you there's something more. You have ambition, you have ideas, your dream life is right there. You can almost feel it, but somehow you never seem to take the first step. On paper, you have all the traits of a successful person, yet here you are, stuck. So you ask yourself, why isn't this working? Why is everyone else progressing? And instead of starting, you wait. You wait for clarity. You wait for the moment where it finally feels safe to move.
Let me know if this is y'all. Let me know if this is y'all in the comments. Let me know.
Hide behind New Year's resolutions or the idea that you'll begin once things make more sense. But if you're willing to see your dreams differently, not as something distant, but as something that's already here, everything starts to shift. The first step is simple, but it's also the hardest.
Let me play you some stuff.
Two defendants are being tried for an accident. The truck then hit an 8-year-old.
Remember they used to call you that? Shake Lawrence? I'll take you down.
Did he just pull out a retainer? What the hell was that? Was that grills or retainer? You got fake teeth?
They used to call you that? Shake Lawrence?
I don't know nothing about this, but hey, no judging the man, no judging the man. But what I was gonna say was, I was basically gonna say that, you know, you can't make it a dream. It's kind of weird to say, even though dreams are dreams, you know, something that you really want to happen in the near future. Like, you can't make it a dream. You got to remove the definition of dream and make it into a reality. Excuse me, a reality. And yeah, that's something different, something powerful. And, you know, you gotta, that's next level, you know what I mean?
I'll take you down one more.
Before anyone really cared about who he was, Kanye West just showed up. He'd walk into studios uninvited, playing his music hoping someone would listen. In 2002, he did the same thing at Rockefeller Records. He played All Falls Down, the same song that would later define an era. Yet at the time, no one really paid him any attention. Everyone brushed him off as just another producer trying to be something else. But Kanye wasn't just another producer. He was an artist. Making music to him wasn't a goal, it was an extension of who he already was. Kanye didn't wait for permission, he didn't wait for validation. And you don't need to either. You don't need some perfect plan, and you don't need clarity, because purpose comes after you start. So create, show up, do everything you can until you find something that naturally sticks, something that feels like you. Stop thinking about it and just start. You're not always going to have it figured out, but I think there's beauty in the mystery of it all. It's like planting one seed every single day. It'll create a beautiful garden, even if you don't know what it'll look like. Before starting this channel, I had 4 others that never really worked out. I remember feeling lost at times, as if I was creating without direction, unsure where any of this would take me. But the thought of stopping never really crossed my mind. Because making videos was a part of who I was. It was something I did every day, even if it didn't make sense at first.
Same.
And now my purpose is clearer than ever. I want to inspire you to do the same, to start before you know how.
You know, like, we've been on this topic so many times throughout this channel. So many times, to start before you know how, you know, to not even think, you know, to not even think about starting, to not even think, to don't think, just start. That's basically the gist of it. Don't think, just start. You know, it's a whole bunch of stuff that stops you from really going towards your dreams and towards something that kind of like scares you in a way, something that's gonna like resolve around humongous change, and it may be scary and you want to be prepared for that type of thing. So you overthink, you know, and you're going to be in this process of just overthinking so long that you never really get started, you know? And I talked about it on the stream before, like, tomorrow turns into next week, and then next week turns into weeks, and then weeks turns into years, and now you're at the same spot, basically. So yeah, just, you know, don't think about it. Just do it. Just do it as you please. You know, just, for me, it was streaming, you know, just clicking that stream button, and that's really it. So yeah, whatever you're passionate about, whatever is really deep within your heart, just do it. You know, nothing's really stopping you, I promise you.
But starting is just the beginning.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want.
Now, here's the part that might seem counterintuitive, but you need to hear it. Forget about your goals. For most people, goals aren't motivating. They're actually what's holding them back. Because the moment you make everything about the end result, you stop focusing on what you can do today. Let's say you start working out because you want a certain body. You go for a couple months, but when you look in the mirror, you're not where you thought you'd be. You get discouraged. You start wondering, is this even working? You see other people progressing faster and it kills your motivation, so you slow down and eventually stop. But if you went to the gym because that's simply what you do, there'd be nothing to question. You wouldn't need motivation or proof, you just go. The second you make the outcome the reason, you start measuring everything, and when the measurement doesn't match your expectations, you lose the reason to continue. When your goals are always in the future, you procrastinate. You put things off, thinking, I'll start when things make more sense. New Year's resolutions are the perfect example.
What did I just say, man? What did I just say? I literally just said what he just said. But yeah, it's completely facts, bro. Just do. Don't think about it. Just remove the thoughts out your head. Like, you know, I'm gonna explain like something. I'm gonna explain something real quick, and then we're gonna get back to the video. I know I'm yapping. But you know, there was this situation where I had a period of time where I was pretty like, you know, stagnant within myself and just like isolated, you know, to the point where people didn't know how I was. And I would come in, you know, straight faced and very like, I guess it would be like, you know, I was demotivated. I was demotivated and I needed some type of spark. And that's because, you know, I was overthinking and, you know, I was procrastinating and I was just stuck in this mud of all these thoughts of what I can do and how I can do them. And, you know, basically what I did was I had an opportunity to go somewhere and go on vacation and to relax my thoughts and everything would be, for everything to be completely fine. So I went on this little trip and, it was kind of like a real transformation experience in a way. I didn't transform as a person. I was just set free. And the point that I'm trying to make is that the whole time throughout the vacation, I was having a blast. I was, you know, I was talkative. I was expressive. I was, you know, dancing, doing this and that, talking to people, you know, smiling, doing stuff I wasn't normally doing beforehand, and that's because I was free of all these thoughts, and I wasn't thinking at all. I was just doing, and that's the real you. You know, when you're not really thinking and you just do what's like, you kind of just do what's like thought in the moment, in a way, like not thought for like years in advance. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what I was doing. I was thinking years in advance, and I wasn't living within the present. So for the advice, I guess, is like, you know, take a vacation, see how you feel, be free of that mind. I promise you'll come back refreshed. And, yeah, it's just like the main point is to just not think. Just don't think like when you're doing stuff. Think when you're in the process of it, you know, but don't think too much to let it get, like overwhelmed with your process. You know, always give yourself grace and always give yourself that space to come back to it and do better, basically. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Main point is just to not think too much, you know. Thinking hurts, you know what I mean?
They feel responsible, but most of the time they're just permission to wait. That's why I'm saying this isn't about chasing results. It's about changing how you relate to the thing you say you want. Because the moment your dreams stop being something you're waiting for and starts being something you practice daily, everything changes. And that leads into the final part, the part where most people completely miss. Focus on inputs, not outcomes. The future is out of your control. You don't get to decide when things click or when opportunities show up or when life shifts. The only thing you can control is what you do today. So do something every day. Live in the present and be mindful. When you commit to inputs, something changes. You stop waiting for results to tell you whether you're on the right path. You stop letting progress or lack of it decide how you feel. And once you do inputs for long enough, it doesn't just change what you achieve, but it changes who you are. And that's the real secret to this whole thing. Changing your identity to align with your dreams. The reason why it's so hard for a lot of people to start is because there's a disconnect between who they believe they are and what they're trying to build. So every action feels forced. Everything
Yo, Jacob. Bang, bang.
feels like effort. But once identity starts to shift, effort
I said, yo, Jacob. Bang, bang.
fades. It doesn't feel like a grind anymore. It just feels natural to you. You stop seeking external validation or compare your progress with others. You just show up every single day because that's what you do. That's how dreams need to be treated. Not as something you're working towards, but as something that already belongs to you. The only thing separating you from the life you want is how you think about it. You might not end up with the exact outcome you imagined, and that's fine, because your life will still be aligned to what matters to you. This is how dreams become inevitable. Not because you visualized them hard enough, not because you planned out every step, but because you became the person who makes them happen. When identity aligns, quitting doesn't even cross your mind, because why would you stop being who you are? And that's the difference between hoping something happens and knowing quietly that it will. Not because of fate, but because you're already living as the person who gets there. And once that happens, it's not really a question of if anymore.
Wow. That was a quick, short video, but wow.